And we're live. Welcome to episode 229 of the MailleWerX Chainmail Livestream. My name's Sean. I run MailleWerX.com, where you can find all the chainmail themed apparel and accessories that your heart desires. How is everyone doing tonight? How was your weekend? It's been a couple of days since I was able to get on here and get some work done, but I have been doing some work, just not streaming. I had quite a rough week last week, so I am not even fully recovered, but I am feeling much better. So, let's see here. Last week, I mowed my lawn, and hey Barb, how you doing? How was your weekend? How was your week? I haven't seen you. Talk to you. Haven't been able to be here. So I'm not caught up on anything anyone has going on. But no, so our city sent out a no mow May, right? And I was participating. I let my grass grow long, wasn't real worried about it. But I went last week, mowed my lawn, and I gotta turn this music down. It had its moments. Oh, I suppose I should flip over the other camera too so you guys can see what I'm doing. That's better. That music's... my volume's much more appropriate now. It's like turning down the volume on your radio so you can see better at night when you're trying to figure out where you're going. But yeah. So finally, a third of the way into May, I get back into my backyard because it was quite overgrown at this point, and I had plenty of dandelions out there to help the bees, and I've seen hundreds of bees this week, so they're doing well. But I mowed the lawn, and the first mow of the year is always the toughest. You got to make sure everything's working. You got to clean up all the trash that's been in the yard that came in over the winter. There's all the extra stuff that goes along with just getting ready to start mowing the lawn again. I used to bag up my grass and take it to the dump, and I had too much grass, and I should have done that this time around. There was just a lot of extra grass laying around. And I took it, I eventually, broke that ring. I eventually did have to get the collector attached to my riding lawnmower and get all the grass up and move it to a suitable area because it was killing off the rest of my lawn. I'm not a big fan of lawns, and I'm generally okay with it dying off, but I don't want that to happen the first mow of the year. So I had to get all of that cleaned up. Get it cleaned up. Well, I broke out in a rash all over my arms and my legs. I was wearing a short sleeve shirt and shorts to do the lawn. And so I was exhausted from mowing the lawn, and then I had just, you can still, I don't know if you can see it, but right in there. So I had that going on last week. You compost your grass with your leaves and kitchen compost for your garden to save on nutrients for your plants that you grow. Stealth hugs. Is it hay fever? No, it's just eczema that gets exacerbated by Mother Nature. That started when I was in the Army. That is one of the VA claims I put in, and that came back as rated being service connected. I never had it before I got into the military. I definitely had it afterwards, so. But then, let's see here. So that was like on Tuesday, right? Went out and mowed the lawn. broke out in a rash. Wednesday, and I'm going to have to figure this out. Wednesday I was, I stayed very late at my son's baseball game. And we didn't get home until about 8:30. 8:15, 8:30, something like that. And I just had too much stuff to do the rest of the night that I was not going to get a chance to get on here. And then by the time I'd already missed 2 streams, I was still feeling like crap Thursday. So I was like, you know what, we'll just try again next week. You suffer from hay fever, so you hate mowing? Yeah. I'm going to have to break out, like, I don't know, some type of long covering for my lawn mowing attire, because shorts and a t-shirt aren't going to cut it if I'm going to break out this badly. People with grass allergies, pollen triggers allergic reactions, symptoms of grass pollen allergy, including runny nose and sneezing. I didn't really get a runny nose, or I wasn't sneezing. I was just my skin just reacts to all that pollen and crap. So you're full in for no mow May. Might even push back to no mow June. Nice. I tried to participate, but my little dog was having trouble. He was running out of places to go to the bathroom, and so I don't know if it was his food or what, but he started getting sick in the house. So I mowed it for him, and hopefully he hasn't made a mess in like 2 days. We took away all his food and then put him on chicken and rice, and I think he's been okay since then. He has started eating regular food, but it's like, yeah, he threw up upstairs, then he pooped in the basement twice, and he pooped upstairs. Never been so pissed. And he's never done this before, so clearly something's going on with him, and I think he's feeling better now. So I did get a little work done on this coif here. Couple rows last couple of days. Getting stuff organized. Got my welder pretty much set up, so I'm going to play with that here soon. Figure what I can make with that. I always find it so... I find it immensely enjoyable whenever I'm doing stuff and I'll be like, yeah, okay, I should talk about that on stream, right? And then I get on here and I'm live and I'm trying to figure out, you know, what ring comes next. Make sure they're all closed. What should I talk about? Oh, I should talk about something I wanted to talk about, but what was it? What was I doing? Oh, I wish my brain worked. All right, and this music isn't helping. Thought I broke it there for a second. You use Kevlar gloves with sleeves to protect your arms, and light sweat guard fabric to prevent rashes when you do the mowing and weed whacking. Do we call it a weed whacker in your part of the country? I have heard people refer to it both ways. This is your brain on camera. It won't work. Words won't form. Thought processes will cease to function. Anyway. Yeah, I got the welder set up. I gotta make a little plier attachment for it so I can hold the rings as I weld it. Thanks to John for helping me out with that. I do appreciate it. You guys call it a weed whacker? I think I normally refer to it as a weed eater. But I have heard it referred to as a weed whacker growing up and here. Alright. So I spent a lot of time. My father-in-law had a machinist vise that I grabbed out of his basement the other day when I was over at their house. He's got a lot of like precision tools and stuff. Couple of power tools. But my mother-in-law wants all that stuff gone, so there's a lot of like, he's a tool and die maker, so there's a lot of stuff that he made laying around. And it's for a really specific purpose, but it's kind of like, don't know if I can use it for anything necessarily, but you know, keep a hold of it for as long as I can and pass it on to my son. It's like, yeah, your grandpa made that slab of metal, whatever it does. Here is your inheritance. You're in Camp Weed Whacker. To us, weed eater is a chemical. Okay, it's one of those things they noticed when you live in Georgia versus West Virginia versus New Hampshire. Like Georgia, pop was any soda. West Virginia is all Coke, though it was Sprite, Orange, Pepsi. Here in New Hampshire, you guys call them by name. Geographic linguistics. Geographic linguistical differences. Yeah, I don't know. I call it soda. I think in Chicago and the surrounding area, people call it pop here. In Iowa, weed eater is livestock. Alright. So, yeah, so I'm going to have my skin reevaluated once I gotta get set up with the VA, right? So, a bunch of my ratings came through, which is good news. So I should get a nice sum at the end of the month. They are supposed to backdate to when I filed the claim. And that would put me back in December when I filed. So, but I am... Let's see here. I should get caught up on almost 5 months worth of pay. So, that'll be nice. That'll be a nice, you know, change. That, the process to get your VA stuff settled is long. And I think that the almost 5 months I've been waiting is an improvement. But, we're not quite done. So the other day I got an email saying that I have to go back in for a further evaluation. And the only claim I have left is my TBI and my neck injury. So, and I think that is my final evaluation for all of the claims that I put in for. It's the government. Of course it moves slowly. If it moves at all. I am no fan of a rapidly moving government. But the VA is supposed to have 90 days to finish everything up, and that didn't happen. So it's like I initially had one evaluation, and then in February, like the beginning of February, and then the rest of my evaluations weren't until the end of March, which was the end of the 90-day period for the VA. So we're a bit beyond that now. But it sounds like it's wrapping up soon. And the closer I get to it being done, the more my anxiety is relieved. Okay, because remember, I have not been at work since the end of February. And so I am waiting for that process to finish while simultaneously setting up a way for me to make an income from home. So it's the only safety net I have left. Right? Haven't been working. Oh, this is fun. So I picked up some medications, I don't know, a month ago maybe. And my insurance had dropped because I was off their insurance by that point. But the pharmacy I went to processed it through the insurance company. And first I got a bill for like $45 or $150, something like that. But I got another bill from that insurance company that is for over $1,000. I'm like, uh-oh. I don't know. Like, I wasn't thinking when I picked up the medication that they would run it through my insurance. I figured that if you'd no longer have insurance with that company, like that's they're supposed to deny it, right? So I don't understand how it went through, you know, and why like Walgreens isn't contacting me. That seems like a problem that's easily fixable without sending me, because I can, the cost of my medication is not $1,000 for starters, right? It's just not. And had I been thinking, I would have just, you know, paid out of pocket for my meds. So I don't know how those lines got crossed, but they did. So now I owe an insurance company $1,000. It's like, that's awesome, because I hate insurance to begin with, okay? It's just a scam, right? They give you no way to place a monetary value on something, because everything's done, all the pricing is done like through Medicare and Medicaid, right? So you can't figure out whether or not you want to go see a doctor based on how much that doctor costs, because you don't actually know what the cost is. So I almost never end up using my insurance. I'm relatively young. I'm relatively healthy. I did have one swollen salivary gland a couple years ago. Back in, I think it was 2019. Right? And I did have to go see my doctor for a few things because I changed, the company changed insurance companies, and my doctor that I had been going to was not included. I have heard of GoodRx. Mark Cuban also has a new prescription company, like Cost Plus Pharmacy or something, that is supposed to have really low prices for medications, which I think that's neat. But so short of my immensely swollen salivary gland, where I had like this baseball sticking out of my jaw and neck, it was awful. I looked terrible and I was in horrible pain. Okay. I don't really go to the doctor. Right? I keep my glasses for far longer than I should because I hate going to the optometrist and getting new ones. I loathe dentists. So I don't ever use the damn insurance, but I have to pay it. Right? Which is stupid. I should be able to determine whether or not I want to use insurance or not. And quite frankly, no, I don't. I'd much rather just pay cash and not have whatever I need done negotiated through a third party. Right? So anyway. Use Zenny for your glasses if you know your glass prescription. I need a prescription. I definitely need one. But now, see, and that's what I'm trying to get to. Okay, so now that the VA stuff is wrapping up, I can go and get seen for my VA stuff, and that takes care of 90% of the general stuff that I need. And for the I'm trying to think here. For anything additional, I'll have a provider there to go see, right? I'll be charged for it, but it's not, I don't have to pay a monthly insurance premium for it. Who doesn't love the dentist? I don't know. Your wife got 3 sets of glasses for $115 versus $380 for one set from the eye doctor. Yeah, I've heard of them. I don't have an issue with using them or not. My biggest issue is that I wear my glasses for far longer than is reasonable. So I need a new prescription. A new prescription and a new prescription. So anyway, I'm excited for my VA stuff to get finalized, because that way if something does happen, I will at least be set up somewhere, even though they're an hour away, you know? And it'll make this transition from working for someone else to working for myself like pretty permanent. So like, this will be my office where I work, right here in front of my computer. So till she found out about Zenny, she was doing the same. Now she gets the 1-year checkup, gets to print out the script, and then orders them offline from Zenny. Yeah, I should do that. And just get like a bunch of different cool pairs of glasses. So I'm not blind, right? I have a pretty light prescription, but if I'm not wearing them, I definitely have to wear them when I drive because I can't see road signs. Definitely have to wear them at the theater because I can't see the movie screen. If you're, I don't know. Can you guys see my hand? You guys can't really tell. Okay, I can see my ring clearly at this distance. What is that? Foot? 15 inches maybe? Hey Josh, how you doing? Good to see you. They even do sunglasses, bifocals, light tinting, and a bunch of other types. Yeah, I'll go get a prescription and then see how much that's going to cost me out of pocket. What is new, Josh? I hate doing that stuff to start with. Oh yeah, I can see about 15 inches out past my face, and then everything goes blurry. So my vision's not terrible, but been working hard on the property. Good, good. How's your internet out there? What is the what is the status of your ability to stream? I know you were always fighting it before. So it's not normal to flex your eyes to see distance versus close up? No, it's not normal to do this when you're trying to see something far away. Hopefully getting the inspection for the power set up tomorrow. Then once we pass the inspection, we can get permanent power and phone hooked up, and then should be able to get back to streaming shortly after. Nice. That's good to hear. How long has this process been? This has been like 6 months. Electrician got the power box and outlets installed today. Now you just need the county to sign off on it and get the power company to hook it up. Sweet. Where'd that go? There it is. Skull. We were on the property at the beginning of the year, so a little over 5 months. Okay. It's 5 months into this journey without regular power. My hat's off to you, man. I would have succumbed to the environment or committed an atrocity. Still working on reliable water solution. Have to hook up the septic once we get our trailer in its permanent place. Nice. I was gonna ask. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But you had to move because, like, your landlord was selling the property or something? Like, you didn't want to move, you were put into that position, right? That would drive me batshit crazy. Yeah, 100%, me too. Generator 5 per gallon, all cooking done over open flames or propane cook stove. Ugh. Solar nitrate water filtration a possible solution? Okay, correct. Okay, that's what I thought. That sucks. I mean, nothing you can do to avoid it, but All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that you were getting back on your feet and back into a more normal first world type of lifestyle. Then you decide not to sell it and move someone else in. Kind of. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Either way, this will go anyway. It's just a matter of the timing, really. Okay, well, you know, I mean... I can't say what I'm thinking because then the word premeditated gets thrown around the courtroom. All right. Well, it is good to see your name pop up in the chat. All right. Yeah, that's another whole thing going on too, right? Like, I'm not at the risk of becoming homeless, but I haven't had an income in 3 months, and I'm not, by no means am I stacked with reserve cash with which to live off of by any stretch of the imagination, right? And so while I have made it up to I will make it through the end of May. It's going to be a stretch, right? But if by the end of May nothing happens, or if by the end of May nothing had happened, all of the stuff I've been working towards would have had to be put on hold, and I would have to go and find a job before getting back to it. All right, have a good night, Barb. Thanks for hanging out. Drinkable Book, I think, was the name of the project. Each page of the book is water filter and removes most of the contaminants from water to make it drinkable. Drinkable Book. It's a new one on me. It's just a water filter built into like a book thing. Yeah, I have done the whole different filters, purifying water, all of that fun stuff. I am not equipped to live that way. You know, like there are guys who can go and they could live off the land for however long they needed to, and they can survive in any environmental situation. And I am a child of the first world, and I'm not going to live without certain luxuries if I can avoid it. I could, right? I could, but my motivation to survive probably wouldn't keep me going for very long. Each book comes packaged in a 3D printed box, which converts into a filtration tray. When you tear out one page, the page and slip it into the tray, you can use. Oh, okay, interesting. So the paper is a filter. The nanoparticles don't quite work like a traditional filter. Rather than providing a barrier, they actually kill the bacteria as they pass through the paper. As the water runs through, the bacteria absorbs the silver ions, which kill the bacteria. The paper kills 99% of harmful bacteria, which puts resulting water on a par with tap water in the U.S. Nice. That's cool. I'll have to look that up. I mean, I'm still going to die in any given survival situation. It's like I have a hard enough time staying motivated in the first world, right? That if we start adding in like having to survive, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll do the best I can. But I'm gonna bitch the entire time. Come here. Like, there was a 3-day power outage last summer. And it was in a lot of areas in Wisconsin. It wasn't statewide. But it affected my street. And there were plenty of other areas in Kenosha even that had power. But my street was out for 3 days. I lost a lot of food, lost a lot of, food. I lost a lot of food. Had to replace all that. And then it was a 3-day, 2.5 day period where there was no power, and it was the hottest, most humid time of the summer, and it was just hot in here. I did find a generator by day 2 and got everything, got some ceiling fans running, but the house was just cooking, so we had all the windows open, and it was humid, and there was a little air coming from the fan, right? And by the time that 3rd day had started, I was already like losing my mind. So that generator was a lifesaver. Here's what I need to do. I need an electrician to come out and make it so that I can plug in the generator directly into my electricity panel. So that way I can have like air conditioning running off the generator, and keep the food in the fridge from de-thawing, spoiling, right? And there is a company that will install a generator that runs on natural gas. So if you can get natural gas, you can get this generator, and we have that. I've got the perfect place to put it in the backyard, and I would love to hook it up. And it's called a Generac generator, but they're like $5,000. And then you have to pour a little bit of concrete for them to sit on. So, but after that last year, I really want to prioritize getting one. Was that the straight line windstorm last year? Yeah, I think so. Hi, Greg. How you doing? Thanks for joining us. Greg's over on YouTube hanging out. Oh, man. Yeah, there was, that is the longest I've been without power up here. And that was the worst. Usually it's like 4 hours. So you bought a Predator generator from Harbor Freight when your other one went down a couple weeks ago? Yeah, there were no generators in my area at that time. Right? I had to drive about an hour away before I found a Lowe's that had one, and they had like 20. So by the way, hello. Hello, Greg. So now we have a generator in case of emergency, in case we need it. Or if we want to go like camping somewhere, we can take it with us. So it's nice to have, just in general. But I do want one that is on runs on natural gas and is just straight up connected to the house. So I am all about making life as easy as possible in any given situation. You're looking about $20,000 to go full solar panel, and that will run the shop and the welder as well, and remove any of my electric costs, which would pay for itself in 12 years from your current power usage. Nice. Now, there was a company I was looking at not too long ago, and instead of getting a solar panel mounted to my roof, which I really don't want, I wanted to get a yard mounted solar panel. I have a place to put it. My backyard gets sun all day long, so you guys are looking at solar and wind as well. Those are further down the line. I don't want it installed on my roof because I've heard so many horror stories of people getting solar panels installed and just having endless trouble with them. And my roof is quite high up in the air. I'm not going to climb up there to sweep snow off or anything. So it will just be unusable in the winter. Unless it's a heated solar panel, which I don't know. You were lucky enough to not lose power in that storm. You're on a hospital grid. Nice. Nice. It's like when I got back from Iraq in 2005, Katrina had just hit New Orleans and Rita came right behind her. And Katrina didn't do a lot to Fort Polk, Louisiana when I was there. But Rita came through and we had a ton of trees down, fences were knocked down, a lot of damage. Right? And someone over on Twitch, Piers Oficial, Muito Legal. Don't know what that means, but okay. How you doing? I don't know how to say your name. All right, and after so after Rita came through, it knocked out power, and then we were out of power for like a week and a half. And I was at least comfortable during that time. I was staying with a buddy who lived in on-post housing. We were just chilling, barbecuing, drinking beer, and it wasn't that bad. It was frustrating because there was no power, right? But it's like, oh, I couldn't play on my cell phone, whatever, you know? Last year's power outage for 2.5 days, we were all just miserable and pissed off by the time power finally came back on. Just got a new roof put on last summer, full strip, resheath, and fresh install. Got the full 2-car garage roof as well. Nice. New Hampshire steep pitch roof, so de-snowing is not a problem. And sadly, you only have one white birch tree in your yard that is not as tall as your house on the side of a hill, so you are perfectly located to do solar. Nice. Yeah, I want a solar panel in my yard. If I was going to do one. I don't want it attached to my house. Yeah. It's like right where my kid's play set is. He's got the swing set and slide climb rope combo deal, and that is going to be taken down this year. So right there would be a really good spot for it. And there's no wires in that, back in that area. I don't know what kind of wires they'd have to run for it, but I'm assuming something. All right. There is a sprinkler system that doesn't work in my yard, and I wouldn't use it anyway, even if I did, because I'm not going to keep the grass nice and green because I don't care. I'm not going to waste money on water to water grass that I just have to mow. I have more important things to do than spend my time mowing, right? Didn't feel that way last week, but trust me. And so between the sprinkler system and some of the power lines that go to the utility boxes in the back of the third of the yard, I don't know like exactly where I could put a solar panel inside like the first 2/3 of my backyard. So for short-term backup in city Wisconsin, you're better off doing large battery backups. Aren't large battery backups supposed to be congruent with solar panels? Like, you get a solar panel and then store the power and use it whenever you when your solar's not enough. Isn't that the idea? I don't want to be like, I don't want to be off grid, right? That's not my goal here. My goal is just to get my power bill down. And from what I understand, one of my big concerns about solar power companies, aside from having it on the house, trickle charge battery pack, and then use the battery during non-peak hours. Yeah, like I thought you did. Most people wanted to do both, unless you're like in an apartment building and can't or something. So what was I saying? Something about not going. My goal is not to go off grid, but to have an engineer or have a generator as a backup. I would love to have that, and a solar panel just to reduce the day-to-day cost of electricity. I run a lot of stuff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it gets, last year was ridiculous. Last year, the bill after I lost power was $700 some odd. It was nuts. Oh, buy one panel mini batteries? Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, especially if I get a yard mounted one, because that is, it's a smaller footprint, right? Like I have the roof. You could put a huge solar panel up on my roof, but I don't want one up there, and I don't want to deal with anything up on top of my roof ever. I just want to something in my yard pointing up the sun. You'll be off grid, but you can pull from the grid if you're not making enough power during the lengths of poor weather or weird weather conditions. Your electric bill average is $280. See, that's not bad. I could live with $280. Damn you. There we go. Going to build a non-electric solar dehydrator this summer to dry your tomatoes and apple chips. Nice. Yeah, I had nothing to do with this, but we have started planting our seeds. So that means that I've got to take some time to go build those garden beds that I was supposed to have finished in at the end of April. Can get one of those flower petal solar panels. They unfold when the sun's out and track the sun across the sky. I would love one of those. Oh, so I would have to look into those, because one of the things that I have an issue with solar, right, is that, and I have this issue with like every single product out there. Doesn't matter what it's in, not, you know, plastics, you know, textiles. Okay, there is a because how solar panels work, they're very difficult to recycle, right? And so they only have like a 25-year life cycle, the ones I researched, and then after that they get junked. They get thrown in a recycling, or they get thrown in a junkyard, you know, in a trash heap somewhere, right? And the one company I was talking to said that the solar panels they were installing made in Germany, and then that the cost of the solar panel paid for it to be taken down and recycled, right? And I was okay with that, but it's a roof mounted model, right? What I don't want is to get a solar panel, have it for 25, 30 years, whatever, and then for it to just fill up a landfill, because that's like antithetical to green energy, right? And I feel this way about a lot of stuff. I would not buy a solar panel from a company who didn't charge enough for the life cycle of the solar panel to be completed so that it is recycled once it is done. "95% of a cadmium telluride and silicon solar module is recyclable. The current cost for recycled solar module is around $15 to $45 per module, while the landfill fee is $1 to $5 per module, not including transportation costs." See, now $15 to $5 per module, if you price that in to the purchase price, right, and the plan is for that to be recycled, I'm okay with that, okay? But there's too many things that have no end goal in mind. Like, the end goal of whatever the product is being created is for it to be thrown in the trash, okay? And I really think that that's a bad way to look at things. I think a more appropriate way to look at things is how can we make it, you know, or how can we charge enough to ensure that the refuse or the trash from this product we've made will, you know, get disposed of properly. So like plastic drinking bottles. You go to the gas station and oh shit, the beer comes, some of the beer comes in, glass, aluminum, and cardboard, right? And I know that cardboard's difficult to recycle just because like the colors get mixed in, but you could just turn it into shit cardboard and make ugly cardboard stuff out of it, right? I don't care, but it's reusable or recyclable. But like all the Gatorades, all the sodas, especially when you consider that for a long time all of those, if they weren't stored out of the sun or something, were releasing toxins into the drink, right? I know that was a problem with soda bottles and with a bunch of plastic drinking bottles, right? That's why they came out with the whole BPA free stuff. I think that it would be easier for, I think that it would be better if in the long run they created their products with something that was ultimately recyclable. Now here's one of the problems with that, is that it drives up prices. So you're pricing out people already, right? I would not want to make this like a mandatory thing. It's just something I would like to see across the manufacturing community, like whatever it is. It's like, make it with the goal in mind so that it can be recycled and that it's easy to recycle. Like, that's your goal. I understand that that's an idealistic view of, you know, what should happen, but I don't think there's no reason why we can't work on that. There's tons of products that can, they don't need, like, I don't need a plastic bag around my bread. Use a wax paper or something. Is wax paper recyclable? I don't know. I don't want to talk out my ass here, but it seems like it would be. Or at least biodegradable. Like those biodegradable bags. I don't know what kind of like voodoo magic chemical toxin shit goes into them. I'm not convinced that those are like green or good for the environment necessarily, but they do break down, which is pretty cool. You like your glass bottle best. Aluminum can second. You'd rather get a 12-pack of cans than a 6-pack of bottles. You'd have some clip-on plastic can covers that let you close your cans to prevent bugs and metal chips at work from getting in them that are deep nice. Wax paper is an environmentally friendly alternative to other food storage options like plastic wrap or aluminum foil. Most types of wax paper are biodegradable and some can be composted. Wax paper is not inherently bad for the environment. The amount you throw out can add up and accumulate in landfills. Well, I mean, okay. Sure, but we already do that with plastic. Like plastic bags. So I don't know. I don't have the solution. I am just like, if I'm gonna buy a solar panel, I want something that when I purchase it, its recycling is paid for, right? And I would like that with other things as well. You've seen some guy hawking food storage stuff made out of some root vegetable fiber. Interesting. I keep sixing these fucking rings that I shouldn't have to chew up in the first place. Anyway, all right. Where am I at here? I have seen it's a mushroom style packing that replaces styrofoam. Right? And that's a big one for me. I hate styrofoam. That, you know, it's everywhere. It's in everything. Bring back the milkman with the glass bottles. Love strawberry and blueberry milk that comes in them. Glass bottles that can be cashed. Glass bottles that can be cashed back in. What's the song? Leonard Skinner. The Ballad of. Oh, this is right on my tongue. It's a song about a boy that goes and sells his glass bottles and then goes and listens to this guy who plays a dobro, type of stringed instrument. Curtis Lowe. The Ballad of Curtis Lowe. You know, just seem a little bit more friendly lifestyle. And I know that there's like a shortage of sand and a shortage of the ability to make new glass, and there's a shortage of the stuff to make concrete. Raised bed, butter lettuce, and beefsteak tomatoes. Nice. Waiting on cucumber plants from the greenhouse. Iceberg lettuce, spinach, and cherry tomatoes. 4 carrots. 8 by 20s. Wow. Nice. Searching for a soda while I get myself some dough. Yes, The Ballad of Curtis Lowe. Great song. If you haven't listened to it, you should. Alright, well, where are we at here? We are at an hour. So, yeah. Shortage of sand to make glass. Right. Start recycling the glass we have, and, you know. And honestly, I think that, our recycling system here, like, I'm not too impressed by it here in Kenosha. So we just dump everything into a can, and I know that a lot of times when they have this particular system where you throw your recycling in a can, it just ends up in a landfill anyway. So, and I'm not saying that there's a right solution or that I'm right or anything. I get irritated when there's like a seemingly simple solution, but no one's incentivized to change over to it. Whee! Ooh. We're getting somewhere. I look like, what's the... Alright, Egypt, Cleopatra, right? Do I look like Cleopatra? Would you say that is a fair assessment? Alright, guys. Well, once again, I apologize for not being able to be here last week, but thank you for coming back and joining me. I do appreciate y'all being here. I do appreciate your comments and commentary and your input and your thoughts and insights into all the ramblings that come out of my mouth during these streams. Thank you for your support and just, you know, in general, appreciate you being here. I will be back on, Lord willing, tomorrow night, 9 to 10, and I will see all of you guys then. Alright. And if you need me between now and then, just message me or something. I will talk to you all later. Alright, you guys all have a wonderful evening. Uh-oh. What did I just do? Don't do that. There we go. If she was the Iron Maiden. Alright. Iron Maiden Cleopatra. And with that, I will see you guys later. Have a good night.